Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day here in North Texas, so I thought I'd try this new mobile format and record it on my phone for my next video. So let me know how you like it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cindy Liu, and I'm a global technology and business leader who drive efficiencies and growth using data-driven strategies. So today I'd like to talk about extreme ownership, which is actually a book written by two U.S. Navy SEALs about the leadership lessons they learned on the field and how they very easily translate to everyday situations in business and in life. And personally, I loved it. I thought it was a great follow-up to the last leadership book I read, The Go-Giver, because a lot of the concepts were very similar. You own everything that happens to you and you give selflessly, okay? And there were three concepts that I would talk about that were main takeaways for me, but I was motivated to read this book after a conversation I had with my friend who was recalling the veterans that he had in his business school class. And I had a very similar experience, by the way. Thank you so much for all your service. But they were going through an exercise where they're talking about the worst things that have ever happened, the most difficult situations that ever happened to them. So many of them recalled situations where they were being shot at, trying to shoot out enemies. And I'm laughing because he talked about a situation where he couldn't finish a slide deck in time for a client. So as a consultant, I could definitely relate, but it really pales in comparison when your life is on the line. So I guess it's all relative. But I was thinking about the one Navy SEAL I knew in my class who was very low-key, very humble, but very selfless and very giving. He is very successful. I won't out him because he likes to keep his past very private, but I really believe that it's the learnings that he gained from his military experience that led him to his success in the civilian world. So the three lessons I learned are: number one, keep it simple. If you cannot communicate your mission and your strategy clearly, that meant life or death on the field. And similarly, it means life or death for your business. So if your rank and file cannot explain to you explicitly what is the bigger picture of what you're trying to accomplish and their part in it, most likely you're going to fail. And unfortunately, I've experienced this firsthand in a couple of organizations I work for, where the strategy was convoluted and overly complex and consequently translated to a failure in the marketplace. Number two is really the heart of the story, which is ownership. It means owning everything you do up and down the chain of command to people that are your supervisors and people who are your subordinates, no matter where you are. So for instance, if your boss is asking lots of questions and saying, you're not clarifying your plans with him or her, instead of blaming them for making your life difficult, which is tempting to do, think about what it is that is not clear and make a plan to clarify for them. Similarly, communicating down the line. Again, if you're not able to communicate correctly and they don't execute or make mistakes, instead of blaming that person, own up to your part of the mess, your part of the mistake, and constantly self-reflect on what you can do better so that you're constantly in control in your own circle of influence and yourself, most importantly, so that you're leading everybody, no matter where your position is, to success next time. And lastly, the authors talked about the dichotomy of leadership. What does that mean? Being a leader is difficult. You have to balance a lot of conflicting priorities and demands to be good. You can't be too aggressive or too soft, too empathetic, or not caring enough. He talked about a situation where one leader cared too much about the welfare of one person that jeopardizes the well-being of the entire organization. It was a very difficult situation, a very difficult decision to make. But ultimately, he had to make what was best for everybody. Otherwise, you're gonna sink. The whole ship is gonna sink because of you. So, because of one person. So, he made a difficult decision and was able to turn around the company. And I honestly think leadership, to be an effective and a good leader, is very difficult. It's a position that I wouldn't take lightly, and I'm very grateful to have read this book and learned a little bit more about it. So that's it for today. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.